Well, wouldn't you know it? We're back on TV for another day of, morning television, morning live television. If you're watching us at 7 o'clock here, Pacific Daylight Time, you're watching us live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. On this Thursday, the 8th day of August, I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life Channel. Don't normally promise you a five-star show on Thursday. We sometimes get to 3.5, occasionally a four-star show. We save the five-star shows, of course, exclusively for Fridays, but we may pull off a five-star show. It's a possibility. Because a couple of days ago, my producer Megan and I went to Ohme Gardens to film our conversation portion of this program. You'll see this in the back half of the hour between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And we talked to the Ohme Gardens Friends Society. And three of our friends joined us. Bonnie Orr, our good friend Bonnie Orr, and Sally Brawley. And the guy who runs Ohme Gardens, Jason Browning. The four of us sat down at the lovely Ohme Gardens, and we found a nice little secluded spot, and we videotaped our conversation there at Ohme Gardens. I mean, why not? It's just gorgeous there. They're going to have a big get-together on Monday, August 12th. The Ohme Gardens Friends Society existed for quite some time, but then it kind of just sort of petered out, I guess, for lack of a better term, for lack of interest. But they're back, and with Sally and Bonnie and Jason on board, they're trying to bring it back up and make it a continuing going concern, and that is a conversation you don't want to miss in the back half of the hour. It is Thursday. Kennel Cameos will be coming your way. Star of the Dog Needs a Home. We'll see if you can help us out with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. That's coming up. Plus, Mike McNally's opinion today in history. Birthdays, the obscure holiday. We have a lot of news to get to. Sports, Apple Sox. I don't know what else to tell you. They are the hottest team in the West Coast League. They won their 12th consecutive home game, their 9th consecutive game overall, and yes, they're going to the playoffs. Even the Mariners won a game last night. It was incredible. And for you Seattle Seahawks fans, the long wait is over. Yeah, the game doesn't count, but Seahawks football gets underway with the preseason game against the Denver Broncos. We'll preview that when we get to sports. But the big story once again today continues to be the weather. We got everything happening. We got three things rolled into one. We have a heat advisory that's been going on for the last few days. It's going to continue until 8 o'clock tonight. We still have that air quality alert that hasn't gone away. We'll talk about that. And on top of all of that, we have a red flag warning. It's going to begin at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're in for a very dramatic change in the weather coming up. We still have one more very hot day heading our way. We hit 100 degrees on Wednesday. We hit 100 degrees on Tuesday, the two hottest days of the year back to back. Probably not going to get to triple digits today, but can't rule it out. Certainly going to be hot enough for most people, and then things are going to get real cattywampus from Mother Nature's perspective coming up on the weekend. So all of that coming up. Let's get you going with taking you around the valley with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Local Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. And there is the Wenatchee Valley. Boy, did we have a spectacular sunrise this morning. Sunrise was officially at 5:48, but at about 5:38, with a combination of the light haze, a few high clouds, and the sun just coming over the East Wenatchee bench, it was gorgeous for about 2 minutes. You just wanted to stare at it. They say never stare at the sun, but it was sunrise, and it was okay. It was just beautiful. Sunset tonight, by the way, is at 8:24. So we're losing about 90 seconds of daylight a day. We'll have 14 hours and 36 minutes of daylight. By the time we get to this time next week, of course, sunrise will be after 6 o'clock in the morning as we get deeper into August. So we say good morning to the beautiful Wenatchee Valley, U.S. of A. Camera 2 is Megan's choice, and she says good morning to Lake Wenatchee. That is our Two Rivers camera on a very high tower located at the very top of Lake Wenatchee, pointing down south. Look at the sun creeping up over Dirty Face Mountain. Incredible view there. I've been to that tower site. If you're familiar with the top of Lake Wenatchee, there's a big sand pit or gravel pit or whatever, and then there's a very steep road that regular cars can't even get close to driving up. And there's a secure area, and there's a tower there, and then that tower goes up about 200 feet, and that camera is on top of that tower, which is why you can see as far as you can see there. Absolutely gorgeous view of Lake Wenatchee. They've had a great year up there at Camps of Nicolachi on the south shore and the YMCA camp on the north shore. And of course, if we turn that camera around, you would see the White River Valley, which is also a spectacular view. Good morning, Lake Wenatchee. The camera's moving just a little bit, even though there's no real wind here in the Wenatchee Valley. Camera 3, where are we off to, Megan? She says, let's go see, is that Jump Off Ridge again? Oh, that's Stein's. Okay, thank you. Oh, that's the monitor camera. Monitor camera. Thank you very much. That camera, a couple of years ago, they had a fire up in that area, and it blew right up to the transmitter site, but they were able to knock it down. That is our monitor camera. And look at those orchards hanging in there, growing those pears and peaches and apples, and well, cherries are about done down in that area. That's a great view. Good morning, Monitor. We are, by the way, the #1 rated live local television show in the greater Monitor area. We carry that with pride. And camera 4. Megan says hello to Lake Chelan. I'm going to say Bear Mountain camera. Hey, it's the Bear Mountain camera. Wapato Point, dominating your view there. Don't forget, now they're putting in a new dock at Roses Lake right above Manson, which is a great place to catch fish. Caught a perch up there a couple of years ago. Perches are not easy to catch, but I was lucky enough to nab one at Roses a few years back. Good morning, Lake Chelan, which is still a must-go-to destination for everybody. Hop in the lake and cool off and go to the wineries and go to all the great restaurants they have in downtown Chelan. Beautiful view there. And as you can see, it's a little hazy, and it's still going to be a little hazy because they still have that Williams Flats fire that's going on, which is why we have their air quality alert, which continues to go on. We are hoping that our weather graphic made it into the TriCaster. Did it make it, Megan? Do we have a weather? We were waiting for it. It was taking a long time to export. Hey, it made it! Da, 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 da. Boy, I guess we messed up in reverse. That's what we did. One more hot day, no doubt about that. Going to be a warm one, 98, 99. Once again, we hit 100 yesterday. I almost set a record. We hit the record high on Wednesday was 103. That was set back in 1972. So we were just 3 off the record high yesterday. We hit 100 on Tuesday, of course. Probably not going to get to 100 today, although we're already off to a warm start. It's already 72 degrees outside of our studios. Air quality alert continues. There you go. If you live in that dark gray area, you could be dealing with some dirty air. Now, I do have the Washington Air Monitoring Network up here on my computer at my desk. And once again, it is the Spokane Valley that is taking the brunt of the smoke from the Williams Flats fire. The air quality in the Spokane area is hovering between unhealthy for sensitive groups. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, it's been good, but still can't rule out some bad air. That air quality alert really doesn't have an expiration date, but if you're sensitive, if you have sensitive respiratory situations, it's probably not a good idea to run around. But as I mentioned before, all of the air monitoring sites in north central Washington are fine. They're all in the green, but if you start heading over to Spokane, you're going to start dealing with some pretty bad air. In fact, Spokane had the dirtiest air in the nation for the last couple of days. So there you go. The air quality alert continues. In the meantime, we got a lot going on. Heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight. The heat advisory will expire, and then in comes a red flag warning, and that's not good. A red flag warning begins at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's going to run until 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, so that's a long period of time. You got the possibility of scattered thunderstorms. You got the possibility of lightning, winds, hail is a possibility. Of course, the combination, the 3 things that need to go into the recipe to warrant a red flag warning is winds, low relative humidity, and warm temperatures, and that's the 3 things that they have, and they're expecting anyway. Red flag warning starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon, runs until 3 on Saturday afternoon. The best chance of thunderstorms going to be Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Everybody's going to get some thunderstorms, it looks like. Again, today just sunny and hot and 99. Clouding up tonight. Winds pick up a little bit. Red flag warning kicks in. We'll get down to about 70 for the overnight low tonight. And we're going to start cooling down Friday. Thunderstorms, clouds, rain, about 90. So we're going to cool down by about 10 degrees on Friday. Then even cooler on Saturday, 80, 81. But Friday night, Saturday night, very active weather. Thunderstorms a possibility, heavy rain at times, light showers, lots of clouds, cooler temperatures. If you don't like the heat, the heat's going to go away, but we're going to be replacing the heat with, well, some thunderstorms and some rain, a little bit of wind. We could use the rain. What we don't want is lightning strikes. That would be bad. That would be really bad. Of course, it was a lightning strike that started the Williams Flats fire back on August 2nd, and that's going to be our lead news story when we come back, the latest on that and everything else that made the news on Wednesday. It's 1 minute away, so grab your cup of coffee, come right back and join us. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 1 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I told Mr. Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks like more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about, about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
When you visit Harmony Meadows for tennis or their activity center, you need to drop by the Love All Cafe. Drink in a locally roasted Blue Star espresso or enjoy one of their all-natural smoothies. Show your guests the breathtaking mountains and surrounding orchards while enjoying a delightful and healthy lunch. Love All Cafe features varied noshes as well as microbrews and an excellent selection of wines. The Love All Cafe, located at Harmony Meadows in the Chelan Valley, just outside Manson.
Welcome back. 12 minutes after the hour, 72 degrees and clear skies, although a little hazy outside of our studios here in beautiful downtown Wenatchee. We're going to top off in the upper 90s today, and then the heat advisory will expire, but the heat advisory goes away tonight, and in comes a red flag warning, which runs all the way through Saturday afternoon. Very active weather will begin tomorrow afternoon with a red flag warning, and we still have an air quality alert as well for north central Washington. Here's what's making headlines on this Thursday, and of course the Williams Flats fire continues to be an issue. Firefighters have been dealing with hot weather, dry weather, difficult terrain. So containment efforts, well, they're heading at it. They're working on it, but it's been a challenge. The fire has now grown to 25,000 acres. It's 25% contained. It started back on August 2nd, of course, along the eastern portion of the Colville Indian Reservation in the designated game reserve. It was reported yesterday that aerial suppression efforts were temporarily shut down after 2 personal drone aircraft were spotted flying over the fire.
All types of firefighting activities were suspended until it was able to be confirmed that that intrusion had been eliminated. So in other words, whoever was flying the drone put their drone in there, and all the planes had to land until they could confirm that that drone was no longer there.
Drones and other private aircraft are restricted. They're prohibited from flying within a 10-mile radius of an active wildfire. Roads have been closed in the area, plus other roads which could access the fire area. The entire area is now under a level 3 or leave now evacuation, but it's very sparsely populated. Officials say homes not immediately in danger, but that the only road out may be cut off by the fire. Colville Tribal Natural Resource law enforcement officers are asking boaters to stay out of the area for firefighting efforts at Lake Roosevelt Recreational Area. They can use the Columbia River to get water, so it's a good idea to stay out of their way. The fire is moving to the east and northeast, and there are over 900 personnel on the scene. Well, Chelan County could be in line to recover an additional share of the state's sales tax to fund affordable housing projects. The funding is made available through a new program authorized by the legislature in the last session. Commissioner Doug England says a shortage of adequate low-income housing affects all areas of Chelan County.
I know in the Lake Chelan area, teachers that have decided that they would accept the position only to turn it down once they start shopping for homes. And they need to find a place that they can afford. We have people that live in Indiat and as far away as Brewster and Okanagan that travel every day to come and work in the valley. And we need to kind of make that more affordable.
The program is currently in the rule-making process, but Commissioner Kevin Overbase says the county and its small cities could be eligible to recover up to 1.5 cents a year of additional state sales tax proceeds.
If the city participates, then they would get 0.72. The county would get the other 0.72. If the city does not participate, then we would get the 1.4 in both that city as well as the unincorporated. So basically, Commerce has the onus to come up with the rules. They are actually, we're doing a webinar today at noon. They are having another one at 2 o'clock to actually talk about the rulemaking piece. They're hoping to have the rules out by about October timeframe.
Commissioners emphasize that this is not a new or additional local sales tax. It's a remittance from the state's share. The current state sales tax rate is 6.5%, and then the local sales and use tax rates vary depending on where you live and what you buy and where you buy it, from 0.5% to 3.9%. Well, a hydraulic pump was the cause of the fire at the waste management transfer facility on Tuesday afternoon. Chelan County Fire District 1 Chief Brian Brett says the fire damage was restricted to an interior corner of the building, which did sustain some heat and smoke damage. The fire was reported around 5:15 on Tuesday afternoon. The waste management transfer facility is closed indefinitely until repairs are made, and that could take a few days. Well, scam calls allegedly from the Social Security Administration are sweeping the country, including right here in the Wenatchee Valley. The federal government says Social Security scams have even surpassed thieves claiming to be from the IRS. Tens of millions of dollars have been scammed from Americans this year alone. In fact, just this week, a Wenatchee resident received this call.
Urgent message. Hi, this is Officer William Nelson from Social Security Administration. The nature of this call is to inform you about some legal enforcement actions filed on your Social Security number. We have got an order to suspend your social at very right moment, because we have found many suspicious activities on your social. Before we go ahead and suspend your number, kindly call us back on our number, which is 479-370-0023. I repeat, it's 479-370-0023. Thank you and goodbye.
In this case, by the way, the number that you just heard has now been disconnected. The Social Security Administration advises people to contact their local Social Security office or give them a call at 1-800-772-1213 if they receive such a call that you just heard. Well, members of the Wenatchee Valley and local law enforcement got together on Tuesday night, celebration of National Night Out. Here with more on Tuesday night's festivities is our very own Kyle, I really need a haircut, Montgomery.
Residents from around the Wenatchee Valley gathered last night on the hottest day of the year at the Eastmont Community Park for National Night Out, a night dedicated to enhancing the relationship between citizens and law enforcement in the community. The event featured different forms of first responders such as law enforcement, EMS, and firefighters, along with different community organizations and booths, and a helicopter people could hop inside and get a tour of. Citizens from around the valley were encouraged to come and interact with off-duty law enforcement and emergency personnel in an open and inviting setting that most people normally don't get to have. Community representative and event organizer Norma Gallegos says the event is extremely important not just to her, but to the community as well.
National Night Out is a very special evening for me because I like to gather all communities, everyone, English or Spanish, black or white, anyone out there that perhaps has not had the opportunity to be near an officer in a very positive way. So this is the night. I've been involved for about 10 years, and it is amazing how our local government works closely together, getting our mayors, our chiefs, our sheriffs. It is amazing.
Gallegos continued by saying events like these can really be a part of a bigger solution to problems around the nation.
How do we show respect? How do we show that we are here to be part of a solution when we are currently facing difficult times in our nation, where crime has significant numbered and hurt us in different ways as we see the media? And many times, to my personal experience, we hear a lot about the negative, but forget the numbers of calls that come through, that our first responders are the first ones to be there and take care of us.
Also on display for the public at the event was a police dog demonstration from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, where a fellow officer was tracked down and attacked by a canine. A question and answer forum was also held at the event, where community members could ask different lead law enforcement personnel questions in regards to the valley. Volunteer firefighter Mark Collins says the event not only benefits law enforcement, but other emergency personnel as well.
The firefighters in the valley, and develop a relationship with them so that they can understand a little bit more about what they do and realize that they're members of our community as well, and all the great things that we can do when we work together as a team.
East Wenatchee Mayor Steve Lacey told NCW Life how National Night Out is one of the most positive events in the community for all involved.
I just want to say that, number one, it's really nice to have the National Night Out here at East Wenatchee this year for the first time, and an opportunity to acknowledge all the law enforcement personnel, all the first responders, and all the other people who contribute to safety here in our valley, and particularly to get a chance to let them mingle and show that they are truly benefactors of our community by putting on this event and mixing with all the people here.
The 35th anniversary of the event was celebrated not only in the Wenatchee Valley, but around the world as well, and will continue to be on the first Tuesday in August for the foreseeable future. With NCW Life, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you, Kyle, for that report. It's 21 minutes after the hour, and Kyle's been a very good part of our news gathering organization this summer, but he's going to have to eventually, in a week or so, go back to school at Washington State University, but it's been good to have Kyle hanging around all summer long. Grant hangs around all summer long, too, but we pay him probably a lot more than we pay Kyle. In any event, Grant will be handling the news tonight at 5, 6, and 10, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The news with Grant Olson. Eric Granstrom will be handling sports. Eric will be in Seattle in the Emerald City, producing the radio broadcast of tonight's Seahawks-Broncos preseason game. So news with Grant, sports with Eric, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. It's 22 minutes after the hour. Sports. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are playoff bound. We got that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
They may not be from you, but they're a part of your family. For many reasons, not all children are being raised by their parents. Are you a family member who has stepped in to help raise grandchildren, nieces, or nephews? Whether court-ordered or not, Aging and Adult Care may be able to assist you with many needs. Kinship Care helps keep family and community ties together. Learn more about Kinship Care by contacting Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, working together for a better quality of life for all.
Manny Sanchez here from Town Nissan. It's car buying season, and as we close out our 2019 model year, I want to show you how affordable it is to buy a new Nissan car or SUV. The Rogue is one of the best-selling SUVs in the country. You can own one for just $22,999. Or this 2019 Nissan Altima also for $22,999. And finally, this great deal on this 2019 Sentra for $17,999. Come on down and save on the last of the 2019 models before they're gone. It's all at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, 23 minutes after the hour. Sports, great pitching, and record-setting home run hitting was a winning recipe last night for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. 5-0 in the final over Ridgefield. With the happy details, the voice of the Wenatchee Apple Sox, Joe Norman.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox are postseason bound. They defeat the Ridgefield Raptors 5-0 on Wednesday night and clinch a postseason berth for the first time since 2013. Ryan Altenberger and Cody Darcy both homered. Wenatchee has now hit 34 home runs this season, which is a new single-season team record. It's been a historic season in so many ways for the Apple Sox, and tonight they guarantee that it will go beyond just this coming Sunday when the regular season ends. The Sox go for their third consecutive series sweep and their 10th consecutive West Coast League victory when they take on the Raptors at 6:35. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you, Joel. We appreciate it. Jake Somm was outstanding on the mound. He threw 8 innings. He improved to 4-1 on the year. He allowed no runs, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, and a walk. Cody Darcy and Ryan Altenberger hit back-to-back home runs to open the 5th inning. That gave the Apple Sox a 3-0 lead. And then Wenatchee would add 2 more runs in the bottom of the 8th and an RBI double by Jason Heredia and a sacrifice fly by Altenberger. The win improves Wenatchee's record to 29-21 overall, solidifying themselves with at least the second-best record in the division, and that means it's off to the playoffs. Wenatchee will host Victoria Tuesday night at 6:35. To the West Coast League scoreboard we go, courtesy of our friends at Les Schwab. There you go. Victoria, no problems. They handled Port Angeles 11-2. Brawley Knight, 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Corvallis with a 5-4 win over Bellingham. Walla Walla beat Kelowna 4-0. Yakima Valley, they lost to Cowlitz. Cowlitz defeating the Pippins 5-4. Portland scored 15 runs on 21 hits. John Jensen 5 for 6 with 4 runs and 3 RBIs, 15-9. The win over Bend. So the standings, to the north we go. With 4 games to go, Wenatchee could still win the second half title. They're still tied with Victoria atop the standings at 17-6. Everybody else is out of the running. And there you see Bellingham is 5.5 games back with 4 to play. So even if Wenatchee doesn't win the second half, the next playoff scenario goes to the overall record, and Wenatchee has clinched that. To the south we go. Corvallis solidified the second half South Division title with last night's win. So even though Portland can catch them in the final 4 games, the Knights have the tie-breaking advantage over the Pickles. So the playoffs are essentially set. Let's look at the south. Walla Walla gets the other spot in the playoffs with the second best overall record. So the Sweets will host Corvallis Tuesday night at 6:35, and the Apple Sox are off to the playoffs. Malik Smith scored on a fielder's choice in the bottom of the 8th inning that broke a 2-all tie, and the Mariners won a game, 3-2 the final. They knocked off San Diego on Wednesday. Kyle Seager hit a 4th inning home run, drove in 2, as the Mariners split the 2-game series with the Padres, snapped a 5-game losing streak. Seattle, by the way, is off today because the Seahawks take center stage, but they're back in action. They'll host Tampa Bay in the first of a 3-game weekend series Friday. First pitch, 7:10. To the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard from yesterday, the Indians win the opener of a doubleheader sweep over over Texas 2-0, and then Cleveland won the second game 5-1. Astros beat Colorado 14-3. Cubs beat up on the A's 10-1, and there are the standings. Of course, tonight for the Seahawks, hey, they finally get to play a little football. Denver Broncos are in town. The first preseason game, all the offseason workouts, mini camps, OTAs, 2 weeks of training camp. Now they get to hit somebody else. Coach Pete Carroll says this will be a chance for the youngsters to make an impression.
This is opportunity for the young guys, and this is the game that we dedicate to the rooks. It's their first game in the NFL ever, and we make somewhat of a big deal about it tonight. Kind of share the experience, make sure that it's one that they remember. We think it's worthwhile to do it that way. And in that also, we're going to play our young guys a ton. You'll see that, and I'm not going to share them all with you because not everybody knows how this is going to work, but there'll be some mixes in the starting lineup that you'll see right from the get-go, and some guys won't play in this game. It's really the game to get the season started and get these young guys rolling and give them the opportunity to compete like we want to compete around here. We want to see these guys, see if they can help our football team, and they can't do it just watching. They need to get out and play. So excited for that and looking forward to it, and it's really fun to be coming out and see Link first chance and all that. So we'll see if we can show you some good ball.
Yeah, youngsters will be playing. Is Russell Wilson playing tonight? No. Is Bobby Wagner playing tonight? No. More from Coach Pete.
Russell's not going to play tomorrow night. I'll tell you. I don't mind telling you.
Is that a little bit?
That's what you wanted to know.
Is that a little bit of a different emphasis? I mean, Russell has usually started at least a series or two the first preseason game.
A little bit of a different emphasis in that. Yeah, he's not starting. We have a lot of guys that we need to play. We've got a big competition in the quarterback position in particular. We want these guys to play as much as they can and play their way into their spots. And I don't want this to be decisions that we have to make without a lot of great information. So that's what's most important right now. So we have a lot of competition at the receiver spot. We have a lot of competition in the offensive line. We're going to be able to play a lot of guys in this game and see how they can do.
Seahawks and Broncos kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. You can watch it on Q13 Fox. You can listen to it locally on 560 KPQ Radio, and the handsome and debonair Eric Granstrom. Our very own Eric Granstrom will be producing the radio broadcast. He enters his 17th season producing the preseason radio broadcast for the Seahawks Radio Network. Translation, Eric is getting old. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at the bottom of the hour on this 8th day of August, the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is International Cat Day, always celebrated on August 8th. The domestication of the cat came a long time after we domesticated the dog, and the domestication of the cat was more out of necessity after agriculture got better and better and they were able to grow grains and rice and store it and eat it later. Well, rodents would start eating the grain and the rice that they were stored, and so they tamed wildcats to kill the rodents. And the wildcats said, hey, we like this, got a warm place to sleep and lots of food, and so gradually cats were domesticated. I got some fun facts about cats. Cats were considered good luck charms by sailing captains back in the day. In fact, there was a cat who was a crew member on the Mayflower. Cats have an average life expectancy of 14 to 17 years, but some cats can live up to 25 or even 30 years. Cats are the only animals that purr, and cats are the only animals outside of giraffes and camels that walk by moving their front and hind legs on one side and then their front and hind legs on the other side. They have a tremendous balance ability. Happy International Cat Day today. Let's move forward. We got today in history. On this 8th day of August, this is the 56th anniversary of the Great Train Robbery. In England, a gang of 15 robbers manipulated the train signals so the train would stop in the middle of nowhere, and they made off with 2.6 million British pounds of banknotes. Translated today, that would be $63 million in U.S. money. The bulk of the stolen money from the Great Train Robbery was never recovered. And you know what? They could have spent the money. They were all caught, by the way. They could have spent the money because none of the serial numbers on the banknotes had been written down. If they hadn't gotten caught, they could have spent the money and nobody could have done anything about it. The Great Train Robbery, 56 years ago today. This is the 50th anniversary of that photograph being taken. They're having huge parties and celebrations at that famous crosswalk outside the Abbey Road Studios in London. They took that photo 50 years ago today at that zebra crossing. Photographer Ian McMillan went up on a stepladder. The police blocked off traffic. John, Paul, George, and Ringo walked across the street a few times. He took 6 pictures. That was it. John was impatient. John said, "We're recording an album. Let's get this photo taken care of so we can go back to work." The whole thing took 3 minutes, and they went back and started recording more music. But it become one of the iconic album covers of all time. The photograph that graced the cover of the Beatles' legendary Abbey Road album was taken 50 years ago today. And finally, 45 years ago today, for Richard Nixon, it was all over. From the archives of CBS News.
I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first. America needs a full-time president and a full-time Congress, particularly at this time with problems we face at home and abroad. To continue to fight through the months ahead for my personal vindication would almost totally absorb the time and attention of both the President and the Congress in a period when our entire focus should be on the great issues of peace abroad and prosperity without inflation at home. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
I was only 10 years old, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And finally, celebrity birthdays on this August 8th. The Edge is 58 years old today. He was born David Howell Evans. Everybody knows him as The Edge. He's been the guitarist with U2 since the group was founded, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. He's got 22 Grammy Awards, and he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Happy birthday, Edge. He's 58 years old today. And the greatest male tennis player ever, Roger Federer. He's Swiss. He's 38 years old today. 20 Grand Slam singles titles, more than any other male player in history. 8 Wimbledon titles, 5 U.S. Opens, all in a row, 6 Australian Opens, and yeah, he won a French Open as well. Happy 38th birthday, Roger Federer. We're going to take a break. We got Mike McNaney's opinion on the way, plus my conversation on location at Ohme Gardens with Bonnie Orr, Jason Browning, and Sally Brawley. That's coming up. At first, Star the Dog Needs a Home. It's Kettle Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We're here with Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us this week is Star. Can you tell us about Star?
Yes, Star is about just a little over a year old. She's actually like the star of our play group here at the shelter, so she gets along really well with other dogs in play group. She is a little reactive on a leash, but like I said, she's the star of play group, so she does like other dogs. She should be in a home. Actually, she's a sweet gal. She's doing well here in our behavior program with her leash walking. She knows commands like sit, but she should be in a home with no cats, probably no kids either. She just seems to take a little bit longer to get used to new situations, so she just needs somebody that's kind of aware of that. and can work with her, but she's a sweet, loving gal. We really enjoy working with her here.
And if someone wants to adopt Star, what should they do?
They should definitely come down to the shelter, meet her, and she is available today.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, okay, this new Gillette commercial, based on their slogan, the best a man could get, that addresses the issues of how we raise our sons. Now, here's my take. Now, what's wrong with teaching our sons not to be bullies and not to harass women? What's wrong with that? Let's face it, for far too long, we have been accepting of certain behaviors from the males in our society, which certainly are not the best a man could be. A real man expresses his strength through gentleness, not by bullying and harassment. And that is the truth. This is Mike Magnotti, and that's not only my opinion, that's reality.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. Get your back-to-school favorites from Macy's, Marshall's, Ross, Hot Topic, Zoomies, and the Children's Place. No matter the age, Wenatchee Valley Mall is ready to fulfill all your back-to-school needs. Check out their website for current hot deals. From head to toe for the very latest in trends, start your school shopping tradition at Wenatchee Valley Mall. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. The two lovely ladies to my immediate left are no strangers if you've lived in the Wenatchee Valley for the last, I don't know, 50 years or so, 20 years or so, 10 years or so. You know Bonnie Orr. You know Sally Brawley. Bonnie, of course, is our good friend and host of Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees, so I don't get to see as often as I used to. Sally Brawley is a longtime friend of the station and a friend of mine as well. And we're here at beautiful Ohme Gardens.
And we're friends of Ohme Gardens.
Yes. Yes. I love the acronym FOG. We need to work on that a little bit.
No, it's actually officially Ohme Gardens Friends Society.
Okay, that's better. That's better. Here's a good question. Why am I here?
You're here because we are reviving the Friends. The Friends has sort of gone dormant for a few years, and we have so many interesting ideas of things we want to accomplish in the gardens.
That's absolutely right. We are so excited to be back involved again, and happy that Jason is here and kind of reached out and contacted us through the chamber. And Bonnie and I were thrilled to just step right back into a role that we had about 10 years ago when we started the Friends Society.
And we just, okay, so first of all, we want people to come on August 12th.
August 12th.
At 4:30 in the afternoon and find out about how to become a friend. Costs $20.
Oh, I got $20.
Okay, but if they pay $25, they also get an Ohme Gardens shirt.
Ooh.
But $40 will buy you
Ohme Homie.
Ohme Homie.
Could be an
And that's
Ohme
what you have there.
That's what we have there. So everybody can be a happy person in the community. But really, and an annual membership is $20, except that you can become a permanent, lifelong friend. And it would help the friends so much, $500.
Oh. And it's a one-time shop, $500, and you'll be a permanent friend of Ohme Gardens.
And your name goes up on the board in the front, in the entrance. Yeah.
Last time my name was put up in public was at the post office, but
I know.
we don't want to get into
we don't want to get into that. Anyway,
go ahead,
people can be friends, and we obviously are going to be raising money. It's our 90th year, and we want to rebuild the Ox
Oxyoke Lodge.
Which has been, I don't want to say condemned, it's still standing, but it's not going to stand very much longer unless we get it fixed.
You can't go inside
It's been at least 20 years you haven't been able to be inside it.
Yeah, it needs to be rebuilt, and the plan is to rebuild it similar to what it looked like when it was first built. So
is it also 90 years old? Is it part of the original?
Yes, I would say it's part of the original. Yeah.
So it's definitely will be a labor of love. We hope to see it rebuilt so that it can be utilized, and Ohme is just, we're busy. It's busy all the time with tourists and with people in the valley and our community coming up. So we need another lodge up here for sure.
But friends can also do other really important things in the garden.
Such as, Bonnie?
Even working in the gardens.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, pulling weeds, helping prune things. They can, gardening tasks in general. But there are so many events now, because we're really trying to make this a center of what's happening in our community, that we need people to be hosts and hostesses for these different events.
Okay.
And we have events which people buy tickets for, and then we have community events, and we need host for those. And we're going to need volunteers for special events. We're going to need volunteers later on in the gift store, and there's just things for people to do.
And as people come up here over the years, it's really nice if you go to any other botanical garden or any of the beautiful gardens that are out there in the Pacific Northwest or across our country. There are these people called docents who will either tour you around and point out the various sites to be seen, maybe point out what the different trees are, what the different ground cover is, and people love that.
Yeah.
So when they come, they actually have their own little guide that takes them around and shows them the hidden spots they may not be able to see, or they didn't know this path led down there, and they just don't see it. So these are things we see in the future where we can have that kind of service for people who are coming up. Even people who are local here might not know all the little hidden secrets up here.
And there's a lot of there's like 100 little Waldens in this park, isn't there?
And they're private, but we want to tell you about the really special thing if you're a friend.
Okay.
You get brown bag lunch privileges.
Ooh.
Never before in the garden has this ever been offered.
Okay.
So if you become a friend, you can come up at lunchtime with your brown bag, find one of those secluded spots, and have an hour of refuge.
Oh.
Now, that's worth the price of admission.
One of the great things about Ohme Gardens is 90 years old, and there are trees and plants that have been here for 90 years.
That's absolutely
But
right.
it also has the same kind of challenges that any gardens of this beauty and this magnitude has at 90 years old. I mean, there's some infrastructure things that always need to be taken care of, right?
You're going to have to talk to Jason about
And
that.
I will.
'cause that's the
Jason
man in
Browning's
charge.
going to join
That's
us
the
about
man
that.
in charge.
But there's nothing wrong with, if you want to be a friend of the garden, you want to get into it. You want to come up here with some work gloves and a hose. Say, Jason, what do you need? Let me help you out.
For Make a Difference Day for years now, there's always been a community project here. But, we also have all sorts of other things like bird watching and stargazing. And so there's lots of events that friends can help us put on so that the community is attracted.
So August 12th, what is is there going to be like a party? Is there a program? How does it work?
It's a program. And we're looking for officers. We're also looking for members and for people.
We're trying to rebuild. We're trying to rebuild this our Friends Society. So we have had people reach out to us who are very interested, and anybody else who hasn't had the opportunity to know about it and are listening today, I hope that they come up here on the 12th and join us.
Ohme.
Oh my.
Ohme Gardens, our community's garden.
You didn't rehearse that, did you, ladies, by chance?
Maybe just a little.
I'll ask both of you, because I've known Bonnie for years. I'll start with you, Sally. Is there any particular part of the garden that you really, really just enjoy? That if you could just take that slice and put it in your backyard, you would?
There was a Hobbit bench. I really, really like the Hobbit bench. The lower pond down there. Oh, and then the little waterfall that goes down that kind of just trickles. That's over to the right of the main lower lawn down there. I guess there's so many. It's hard since I was probably, the first time I came up here, well, I was probably 5 or 6.
So
and
sometime in the early 80s.
You're so kind.
Yeah.
And I love the Boy Scout overlook up there, and that was some place that we always ran to, all my sisters and I and my cousins. So, you know, I remember Ruth taking our 25 cents to come in and run like little Indians through the garden. So I've enjoyed it pretty much my whole life, and I have a lot. Oh, the wishing well.
Yes, that's
the wishing well. We'd always throw money into the wishing well. That was a big hit. So yeah, there's just, you know, this has been. There's just favorite parts for everybody here.
Bonnie, before I bring Jason on board after a commercial break, same question for you. Is there a little slice of this place
I like
that you
the
wish?
lookout up there because I want to have a sleepover up there.
Yeah. Well, for $500 and a lifetime membership, yeah.
You know.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've had really interesting things in the past, and we want to bring back all sorts of new activities and get the community involved. Yeah.
I'm so glad we came up here instead of doing this in the studio.
Oh, well, there.
It's just beautiful.
It's just beautiful today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. One more time, it is the 12th of August from 4:30 to about what? What time?
Oh, probably
kind of time
6,
to
probably.
6?
But we have a little agenda. You know, we're going to talk to them about.
And there's light refreshments.
Light refreshments, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and bring your checkbook.
Yes, yes.
Bring your checkbook. It's always good to see you. Which one of you two want to stick around when we bring Jason on board? I got some questions for him. One of you gets to take a break.
Both of us.
Okay, we can get everybody in here, can't we?
Yes, we can.
We'll make it happen one way or the other. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. When we come back, Jason Browning, the guy who knows every square inch of this place, will be joining us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We are here at Ohme Gardens on a drop-dead gorgeous summertime morning. Dan Kuntz, Bonnie Orr, Sally Brawley, Jason Browning is joining us. Jason is the guy who's in charge of the day-to-day operations here at Ohme Gardens. You've been on my show before. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's the gig going? How's summer 2019 up here at Ohme Gardens been so far?
It's extremely busy. Yeah, we have a lot more events this year than I think we have in the past. So, yeah, the crew's been running all summer.
Is the crew responsive to the whip, or do you have to get on them now and again?
No, that's one of the blessings of my first year here has been the employees that we have. They kind of taken the reins and taking care of things that I don't have to worry about. So they kind of just do their thing, and we got the weekend people working on weddings, and they know what they're doing. So it makes it easy.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you really love your job, don't you?
Yeah, it's a good place. It's a good place to work. It's funny because of the history here. You know, my mom got married back here in 2003, and then just thinking about the times then as a child and now coming and working here now, I would have never imagined. And it's a blessing beyond I can explain. Yeah.
And now you have these two lovely young ladies beating the drum of Ohme Gardens. How did this whole thing come about organically? Did you reach out to Jason and say we're bringing the group back? We're getting the band back together? How did that work, Bonnie?
They called us and said,
they did.
Hey, would you like to do this again?
Yeah, I think it was through the chamber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the chamber's helping advertise the gardens this year.
Yeah, actually, Jerry Barkley from the chamber has been helping.
One of my favorite people.
Extremely.
Yeah.
And they kind of reconnected us with Bonnie and Sally. I knew as coming on that through the advice of Mike Short, the previous director, that the Friends Society is something that this garden needs in order to support it in the future and kind of re-engage the public. And so I reached out to Jerry. She let me know that these two ladies were the ladies to talk to. So.
And so it's been a good marriage so far.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten into any problems.
We're in the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, huh?
He wants us to start writing grants soon for some money again.
Yeah, as soon as that money starts coming in, we'll be
really
good.
happy.
Yeah.
Well, with you girls raising the money, do you have a budgetary goal for your organization, or you just want to have
$90,000 for the 90th year.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that. Are you getting there? Are you making progress?
Actually, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say you get $90,000. What happens to the money? What's the earmarked for, Jason?
That's the man.
Well, we have
if somebody said, "Here's $90,000. Do what you want to with it." What would you do?
The main priority right now is the ox yoke. It's the oldest structure that we have on the premises, and it's the most visible. It's right here, right at the entrance when you come in. The plan is, like Sally had said before, is to rebuild it in kind, almost exactly like it was 80 years ago when Herman and Ruth built it, but also added features like informational kiosks where people can come and do some learning about the Wenatchee Valley, or come and have plant lists there where people find a plant that they like and they're able to reference it there, as well as a showcase for some of the Ohme artifacts. We have some, that's one of the cool things about Ohme, is that we have some really cool, just odd things that's just so Ohme. So, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Everywhere else, they might not be important, but here, they're important. So.
Is there any day that you don't have to do just daily maintenance, or is every day you and your crew are out here doing something, be it pulling weeds or mowing lawn? Is there ever a quiet time?
It's if we don't have a wedding on the weekend, that's when it's quiet. So generally, our maintenance happens Monday through Friday. It's strategic that way because the positions right now for the maintenance are only seasonal. So to get people to come and work seasonal, we have to give them shifts and working conditions that are going to be beneficial for them. So a Monday through Friday shift is beneficial for most people. Weekend shift, we have our events techs on, and they do sort of the event stuff. So setting up for weddings. We had the Wenatchee Youth Circus this weekend.
Which the Friends sponsored.
Which the Friends sponsored, yeah. And that was great. We had about 130 people come out for that, and it was amazing. So.
Why don't more people visit this place? I'll ask you all three of that, because it's about as beautiful an area as you're going to find anywhere in North Central Washington. It has open spaces and private spaces and trees, and it's got everything. You could spend hours here.
And if you bought an annual membership, the family membership is $60, right?
$60, yep.
$60. You can bring your kids as many times as you want. Well, $60 won't even buy you a movie for a family, you know?
I think that in the past, what Bonnie and I experienced back about 10 years ago when we started this process is that people go, oh yeah, I went to Ohme about 35 years ago, and then they don't think there's any change. Oh, I remember going to Ohme. I went once, and it's like, well, how do we make?
Been there, done that.
Yes, how do we make this relevant to people's lives so that they will want to come back multiple times? And that's when we started all of these different events, all of these different activities that you can do in the garden that's only in the garden. And that will draw your people coming on a regular basis. The concert series, those people bought passes for the whole thing, and they were the same people coming up and new people, and it was great to see those people interacting up here and using the garden more than once.
Yeah.
And we wrote a grant that the Lions funded for us to make the place handicapped access with a handicapped parking lot.
That was back in the day.
Yeah,
so we made it so people could come in through the lower garden and not have to navigate down the stone paths. So
you have to, Jason's challenge is to walk the fine line. It's not an amusement park, but as Sally said, to bring people back again and again and again. Yes, it has this incredible natural beauty, but you have to add a little something else to bring the folks back in.
Yeah, and that's why we are doing things. The term we like to use is it Ohme? Is it like Ohme? Does it fit for Ohme Gardens? So, for instance, the little free libraries that we worked on this year, the partnership with the North Central Regional Library to have family pass libraries that people locally can check out, where they're not having to come up and pay that $8 per visit.
that was brilliant.
Yeah, our gnome and fairy hunt. We move them monthly. Kids can come up and their families can enjoy walking. We've got about a mile worth of path, and all that fits really well. So yeah, there's definitely things that we're trying to avoid. We don't want it to be the amusement park, but we also want it to be have value for those members that do want to come and buy a membership. That there is a reason for them to come back. So.
He's pretty passionate about his job, isn't he?
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing. It's so
Yeah.
exciting for
Yeah,
Bonnie
for
and
me,
I
yeah.
to see Jason up here. He's young, he's enthusiastic, he has a lot of great ideas, and he's very flexible and open-minded. And quite honestly, the Chelan County Commissioners have shown so much more support that Bonnie and I recognized right off the bat. That probably is one of the reasons why, you know, not only Jason, but one of the reasons we kind of got back involved is that we felt we were supported by the county commissioners, and so that was awesome.
Some of the ideas that Jason has about having a stage, a
Mm-hmm.
permanent stage, you know, if we raise enough money, and also a dance floor for those weddings. I mean, there's all sorts of, all sorts of neat things that fit into the garden and make the garden even a more attractive place to be.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where I see the benefit of having a Friends Society is some of the visioning of what Ohme Gardens can be in the future, because as many ideas as I have, admittedly, not all of them are great. So to kind of work together to look at a future for Ohme Gardens that's going to be beneficial. It's really nice to have some support on the sides here, as well as, and I would agree, the commission, since I've came on first as maintenance and now in the director role, they've done nothing but support us, which is...
They get it.
Yeah,
They get
I think they understood with the retirement of the previous director, Mike Short, who just worked his hands to the bone, keeping this place up and running and beautiful. They realized that, you know, even me couldn't handle doing all the work that he did. So they're sort of understanding that and moving forward with the idea of being a lot more involved with this garden.
I know you got to get to work, and we're almost out of time. So once again, Bonnie, give us the details on the 12th so everybody knows.
4:30.
Okay.
And they'll just come into the main entrance and go down to the lower lawn
You can't miss it.
at 4:30, and on the 12th, and we'll have name tags because we want to meet everybody. And
Everybody
we want
knows you,
everybody-
too.
No, we want everybody to.
Not everybody. We'll hopefully meet new people.
Yeah, we want to meet new people too. Yeah.
Well, Sally is excited. She's going to have her 20-year high school class reunion up here in a couple of months. Jason, it's good to see you, my friend. Always keep up the good work, everybody. Ohme Gardens is one of the crown jewels of North Central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley. Get up here and enjoy it. Bring a book. Sit in the shade and read a book and do a wish and the wishing will. Go ahead, one more time, ladies.
Oh my!
Ohme Gardens.
Our community's garden.
Thanks for not participating in that, Jason. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Try again?
No, we won't. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
We financed our home with the help of Tracy Dry through Guild Mortgage, and we were quite satisfied with everything she did.
Tracy takes the time to get to know you. She finds what your wants are, your needs, and what works for you and your family and your financial situation.
Everything was on time, and she took the responsibility off of our shoulders. So we would recommend her anytime to anybody.
She takes care of us.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on a slightly hazy but beautiful Thursday morning. Let's wrap up this program where we began this program an hour ago, and that's an all-important weather forecast from the National Weather Service. There's a lot going on. Yep, going to be hot again today. Are we going to get to triple digits like we did yesterday, Wednesday, and on Tuesday? Probably not, but still plenty warm. The heat advisory will expire at 8 o'clock tonight, but it's going to be replaced with a red flag warning. Look at Friday and look at Saturday. Things are going to get very interesting. Now, a red flag warning begins at 4 this afternoon, runs all the way until 3 Saturday afternoon. We're talking about the possibility of scattered thunderstorms, lightning, winds. Of course, if you have wind, low relative humidity, and warm temperatures, that is the recipe that that precipitates a red flag warning, and that's the case. Again, it begins at 4 o'clock this afternoon, runs until 3 o'clock Saturday. So hot today, slightly cooler on Friday. Very good chance of some rain mixed with thunderstorms Saturday. The best chance of thunderstorms and lightning is going to be Friday night, Friday late afternoon to the evening, all the way in until early Saturday afternoon. So get ready for a dramatic change in the weather forecast. Provided we're not canceled, I'll see you tomorrow for a Friday. Till then, take care and bye-bye.